Hi, this video gives you some instructions on how to enter your data for the second project. The project Be Still My Beating Heart, how to enter that data in Desmos so that you can get the graphs. So when you go to enter in the data, I'm just going to use the sample data. So Amy is the sample. So I'm just going to use her information and we'll pretend like that that's actually your average that you're going to enter in. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to this little plus sign here to add an item. And we want to add a table. So the table is going to match the table that you have with your data. So when you go to graph it, you're going to graph just 0 through 6. Do not include your resting heart rate in the table. So you'll hit 0 and just move that down. 1. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and put in the data. So again, I'm putting in Amy's data. So 110, 98, 88, 77, 73, 72. Okay, and again, I did not put in the resting heart rate. Now on what it's going to do with the data is it's going to plot them as points. So see how there's like these little dots up here? They're actually points. They're on the graph, and you can kind of zoom out of the graph until you see the points. So those are the data points. Now you want the scale to kind of match what you are trying to, what makes sense in the graph. So we really don't need all these negative values. So if you wanted to change the scale, you go up here to the right piece where it says graph settings. Here you can change the scale. So let's say instead of going by like, going to 254 minutes, we don't really need to have that. I'm just going to put in like maybe -10 just so that I can see the axis, and then maybe make that up to, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds, 20 minutes. Okay, so now you can see a little bit closer the data. And again, go ahead and adjust yours however you want. You can change the X and the Y values. I'm just going to change the X. I think that does it. And again, we can zoom in and zoom out once we've got that. So you, I zoomed in and zoomed out with my mouse. You could also zoom in and zoom out with the like the plus or minus buttons here. Okay, so you graph the data points. The other thing that you need to also graph is you need to graph the equation that you get from your regression. So you did a quadratic regression. You should have gotten an equation. Now it is not going to match the equation that I got because your data points are definitely going to be different than Amy's. So you go and you just put in the equation. So you can put in f of x if you want. You can also just put in y. So y equals 0.75 times x squared. So I'm going to raise, so x squared. And then minus 10.75x plus 109.07. So that's the regression equation that I got when I put in just Amy's data. Now, of course, like I said, you're going to get something different. So you put in the data for your regression analysis. It should look similar, and you should see that it's going to kind of track the data points that you entered in. It should be fairly close. If it's really far away, you might have made a error when you did your regression or when you typed in the table. So it should be pretty close. So this is the table that I'm expecting, or this is the graph that I'm expecting you to be able to print out. Now, if you want to save this, you can create an account and sign in and save the graph. You can send me the link to the graph. So when you save it, it'll give you a specific link to the graph. You can send that to me if you'd like, but I would actually prefer that you just practice copying and pasting this, or cutting it. So what you'll do is just take a screenshot of this, paste it into a Word document, and then from there you can crop it if you want. This has got everything. If you take this exact screenshot, it's basically got everything that you need. So if you just kind of just crop, like this section here, you basically have the data, you have the graph, you've got the regression equation, you've got the quadratic function, the graph of the quadratic function all on one page. Now, Amy's data is kind of going to be, probably a little bit more tight along this quadratic curve than yours. Yours is probably going to be a little bit off, so don't be worried about that. So hope this helps. Please let me know if you've got any questions.